live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. We're a little bit early today because I'm going to a pre-screening, special screening for Godzilla Minus One later on tonight at 9:45. So,
Those those early screenings that they have, is that like invitation only sort of thing?
no, I paid for mine.
Here,
I do know some
okay.
people who are like big time, well, not big time, but bigger than I am, critics who probably got a pre-screener, but I'm paying for mine because I'm a Godzilla fan and I like Godzilla a lot. I have gone to pre-screenings
Yeah.
back in the day. Like I saw what movie? What was the last movie I had a pre-screening for? Um, I got to see a pre-screening for Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which
Yeah.
I felt bad about because that movie is so bad.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I feel offended that I saw this.
Does the new one make does the new Indiana Jones make the Crystal Skull look all right, or is it just
No, they're both pretty bad, to be
they're
honest
both
with you.
pretty
They're
bad?
both they're both pretty goddamn bad. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hype it up because you know, things let me put it this way.
It's
It's not what I would have made.
Yeah.
All right, like the the dial of destiny basically winds up being like a time thing where they go back in time. You find out that Indiana Jones's life went to shit. His wife divorced him. His kid died in Vietnam or some shit. Like basically, he's a burnout. Okay, he's a burnout old man. Okay, and
Yeah.
basically his niece, his grandniece, goes back in time and changes his life so that he gets a happy ending, and that's the end of the film. That's not what would have done had I been in charge of that movie. What I would have done is I would have basically this movie would have been a nice little segue into getting because like Harrison Ford was too old to play Indiana Jones in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. He's definitely too goddamn old to be playing Indiana Jones in this movie. You get what I'm saying?
He's yeah, he's up in his 80s, upper 80s, isn't he?
He's early 80s. But I mean, listen,
Early 80s?
for early
Yeah,
80s, he's in
still.
really good shape, but he's still in his early 80s. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like there comes a point where it's like, nah, bruh. What I would have done had I been in charge of the creative team behind this film was I would have said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We want to still make Indiana Jones movies, but Harrison Ford is too goddamn old to play Indiana Jones. So we got two things we can do. Okay. Um, Here's what I would have done. Okay, now the de-aging technology is pretty goddamn good. I would have had Indiana Jones like this. It would have started with this guy in a classroom, like in a college, saying, "We have a guest lecturer." A guest professor who's going to come in here and tell you about some of his adventures. And in comes Harrison Ford as Dr. Jones. And he sits down and he says, yeah, so I'm tenured, but I'm semi-retired, but I'm just gonna tell you, and like he's like going on, and then like you have a time lapse in the class where he's like, any questions? And this kid stands up and said, yeah, Dr. Jones, I heard that you did blah 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 blah. He's like, well, don't believe everything you hear. He's like, but they said that you did this and you discovered this and you found this. He's like, well, I can tell you about this. And that's the start of the movie. You have one last adventure for Indiana Jones. He tells you the story. They play it relatively safe, but you do the de-aging technology when you have to. And the end of the movie, you have him say, you go through your little adventure that he's talking about. He says, oh, wait, it's, it's Friday night. I'm going to go have dinner with my son. And my son's going to pick me up because I don't really drive that much these days. And he goes outside and the car pulls up. It's like set in like the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. And who comes out of the car? Short Round. Short Round. Short Round is his adopted son. And he's like, hey, how's it going there? How's it going there, kid? Junior. He's like, don't call me that. and give me my damn hat. He's like, he takes his hat and he lets him in the car and they drive off and they play the Indiana Jones theme song as they drive off. That's your fucking film.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all we need. We don't need all this bullshit they did with that last film. Because really, to me, Mutt Shepard is not Indiana Jones' son. Short Round is his son.
Yeah.
Short Round is his son. So that's what I would do. That's the movie I would make. I would do Indiana Jones. You do One Last Adventure, and then you would split the brand into two. You would have the new Indiana Jones would be Short Round, Huyan Quan, because that guy's on the come up, right? And he earned it. He earned it because he disappeared for so long. Like, if you read the articles, the Forbes articles about that guy was a Hollywood stuntman. And when Hollywood shut down due to COVID, that man lost his health insurance. He lost his job. And he was like, they weren't hiring me anymore. Like, it was just like, but that man made a comeback. He made a fucking comeback. Okay?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
So, I mean, you could totally, and here's the thing, okay? It would tick so many boxes that Disney is desperate to tick. You would have a new Indiana Jones, a younger Indiana Jones, a Asian Indiana Jones, so guess the fuck what? It would be multicultural and diverse.
Yeah.
All right? There you go.
Yeah.
All right? Instead of this fucking forced diversity bullshit they did with Phoebe Waller with the new film. I'm like, this is just stupid. Like, here's the thing. I'm not against diversity, okay? I'm a Star Trek fan. Star Trek is all about diversity and thought and philosophical thought experiments and all that type of shit. Ethical quandaries, that type of shit. But you got to have good writing. You can't just say, you know, we're just going to have all this diversity. Why? Fuck you. Don't ask questions as to why. But, I mean, diversity just for the sake of diversity is not diverse.
Yeah. That sounds more like pandering.
It is pandering. Like I said, I have nothing against diversity. Okay? Nothing against diversity. As a matter of fact, diversity makes gaming better. All right? Yeah. Typically speaking, I'm an old school sci-fi fan. If you looked at old school sci-fi was terrible because you'd watch it and you realize that there were no black people in the future. Like, they have a post-apocalyptic future, all these white people, no black people. I'm like, so y'all ain't planning to have us around in 50 years, are you? You know, what type of bullshit is this?
Yeah.
You know, which is horseshit because, let me put it this way, okay? If anyone would know how to survive in a post-technological future where the technology has fallen apart and there's no life and all that shit, okay? Like, technology falls apart. Who do you think is more likely to survive? Native Americans who are living on, who are living off the land, you know, black people in Africa who are like living in like third world, second world conditions where they have technology, but they aren't as dependent on it as first world countries. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
For real. Like that, it's unrealistic. You know, and that's why I kind of don't like a lot of like 70s, 80s, like 70s and 60s sci-fi because it was that bullshit all the goddamn time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, like you watch like, it's like they got all these white people, no black people in the science fiction. I'm like, for real? Like, no black people. Like none of us would make it. It's like, no, like, let me put it this way. Just on GP of what black people have had to deal with in America alone, if there was a post-apocalyptic setting, you know who would survive? Black people and rednecks.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because black people know how to make a way out of no way, and rednecks know how to make a way out of no way. You know who's fucked?
Yeah.
The motherfuckers who like, I don't have my soy calf latte. Well, you fucked, Steve. You ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, Don't say that out loud. People get mad when you say that. They're like, "How could you say that?" Very easily, actually. Anyway, enough about that. Let's keep it moving. Um, unless you have something you want to add.
No, I'm good. We can get into the topics.
All right, so basically, we're going to talk about the continuous implosion of gaming as we know it. The continuous, consecutive, non-stop implosion of gaming. So first of all, Ubisoft, or as I like to call them, UB shit, because that's really what they are. Ubisoft accidentally released Beyond Good and Evil Remaster. Got mad about it because they accidentally released it. Nuked people who bought it, downloaded it and played it and put the image up, and then copyright struck their channel. Then when they realized that they were going to put it out anyway and who the fuck cared, they were like, "Yeah, you caught us." I'm like, this company is run by fifth graders.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who they got running the show over there, but
It's Yves Guillemot and his brothers. It's a family business.
Yeah, they need to figure out. They need to figure out how they need to reprogram their autopilot, programming, because I mean that's pretty crazy to let something that big out. I mean, there's a vast amount of people that don't know about Beyond Good and Evil, but there's enough people out there that know about that game that I'd be pretty excited to see a re-release of that game.
Yeah, because it's a good game. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those games where it's very European, and it's not a very focused game. It's literally like 5 genres in one game.
Yeah.
It's got the scanning of Metroid Prime. It's got the combat of a bootleg, Wind Waker. It's got vehicle sections. It's got stealth sections. It's got multiple characters that you switch between. It's like there's a lot of shit going on in that game. All right, and it ends on a cliffhanger. And people have been like, even when they were like, "Oh, we're making another Beyond Good and Evil game. Oh, it's a sequel because Jade is still left in a quandary. We don't know what the fuck happened to her. No, it's a prequel." I'm like, what the fuck?
It's silly. Yeah, the whole thing is, obviously I didn't play a whole lot of the game. I mean, I have the game for PC. I don't know if it will run because how old games act with newer hardware and newer operating systems. But
Yeah. Hence, well, you could always run it in Proton if you wanted to, which is basically it's a Linux distro that emulates PC for some games. But
yeah,
if something will run in Proton, it'll you can run it. But I mean, that's kind of a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy.
But, yeah, yeah. But for people like you that have played this, through this game, yeah, why would you want a prequel?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not against a prequel. The problem is that we still have an unresolved loose end that has not been resolved. So why would you do a prequel knowing that it's eventually going to lead? I mean, they did the same thing with Breath of the Wild. They're like, we're going to do a prequel for the expansion. And I'm like, why? Because anything you do in the prequel, nothing, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's not even really a prequel. It's more of a what if this happened?
Yeah, but it's like they did they did the same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Where like they were like, we're gonna do an expansion and it's a prequel, and I'm like, nothing that I do in the prequel fucking matters because ultimately the main events of the game happen. So the prequel, no matter how good the events are in the prequel, you know where this is inevitably going to lead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like, why? What was why we went through all of this for what?
Yeah.
You know, and I know some
Yeah.
people are going to be like, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get people who want to know more about the world, the characters, and how things came to be, and sometimes it adds stuff to stories. It adds more to the story and future installments that helps put together the pieces of the puzzle. But I see where you're coming from.
You know, it's just one of those things where it's like if you're playing a game, especially RPGs, which you're playing for the story, or action adventure games where story is a very big part of it. It's like it's kind of like what's the name of that it's like Resident Evil 0, right? Which is a prequel to Resident Evil 1. It doesn't matter what happens in that story. Raccoon City's still going to get fucked and all those people are going to die. The T virus will be released. So no matter what the events happen in Resident Evil 0, it's a fun game, but I'm like, all of this is meaningless.
Yeah.
It's like that movie, Peter Pan, or Peter and James, whatever it was. The movie that it was like a prequel to Peter Pan, where James Hook and Pete is friends with Peter Pan. Like the end of the movie, like they defeat the big bad, which is Blackbeard or Redbeard, some dude played by Hugh Jackman, and he's like, you know, Peter, I hope you and I will be friends forever. And Peter Pan's like, yeah. I'm like, why the fuck did they make this movie? Like, look, none of this is gonna turn out well.
Yeah.
Everything is fucked. He's gonna cut off your hand and feed it to a crocodile. Y'all would have done better just doing some original shit. The only Peter Pan property that I watched and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, was Hook, directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. I saw it when I was the last time I saw it when I was like 8 or 9. So
Yeah, I
I mean,
went to
I
go.
remember.
Yeah, I had a choice because my father was like, I was a little kid, and this was back in the day. See, I'm old enough to remember, like, now a film can go into the movie theater and it can be gone in a month. And you're like, hey, I'll watch it later. And then when you finally have time to watch it, the shit's gone. When I was a little kid.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
You're not that much older than I am. I remember it took about 6 months for a movie to come out on VHS.
Shit.
If you wanted the home release.
Nah, man. I'm old. Listen, I'm old. I'm a little bit older than you, but like when I was a little kid, I was in that transition period where shit was still like how it was 10 years earlier. I remember when movies would be out for a year.
Oh wow!
A movie would be in a theater for like 9 months to a year.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
A long ass time, and it didn't come out on VHS until like sometimes a year, 18 months, 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So my point is this, okay? I had a choice when I was a little kid. I could watch Hook or Star Trek. Star Trek: The Final Frontier. No, not The Final Frontier. The Undiscovered Country. And I chose Hook because I liked Robin Williams. And in hindsight, The Undiscovered Country is the better movie. But Hook, of all the Peter Pan centric movies I've seen, Hook is the only one that got it right. You want to know why? Because Hook isn't a prequel. It isn't a reimagining. It's literally here's what happened when Peter Pan finally left Neverland. And it actually has a world. There's world building. It's dark. Like the opening of the movie, you have like the opening of this movie. Like this is how you know the opening of this movie. They ain't fucking around, okay? Like the opening of the movie, Peter Pan's children get kidnapped because he's an adult, because there's a time dilation between Neverland and the real world. So he goes back to see Wendy, and when he does, Wendy's a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
like he's like shit, and she winds up like he winds up getting adopted and being raised, and he forgets about being Peter Pan. So he basically he grows up, becomes a lawyer, forgets about being, you know, his kids are kidnapped by Hook, and so he winds up going to Neverland because Tink finds him and brings him back, and essentially speaking, like the opening of the film, he disguises himself as a pirate to get his kids back, and like Hook's like up there, he's like, yes, I did it, I took Pan's kids, now he's got to come and fight me. Yes, all of you bet for me except one of you bet against me. And it's like, oh shit. And he's like, you bet against me. It's like, oh, who the fuck is it? He's like going through the crowd, you, no, not you, no, you. And there's this pirate, and it's like, no, I didn't. Yeah, you did. You know you did. He's like, admit it. Come on, just admit it. He's like, yeah, okay. You made a boo-boo. Yeah. The boo box. No! They take this person, they put them in a treasure chest, lock them inside, and fill it with scorpions, and then throw the motherfucker overboard. Kids movie. Kids movie. Now this was back in the day. This is back in the day when kids movies weren't like, we can't hurt the children, they can't see disturbing things. See, this is like the back in the day when we had shit like Gremlins, where this is a kids movie, but you're gonna see an old lady get murdered.
Yeah.
Hey, that old lady got launched out that chair. Yeah, her ass is dead. Yeah, is she okay? No, she dead. Okay, she dead as a door. Probably died grotesquely too. But my point is this, okay? You know, that's the only thing I ever saw where it's like, oh, well, this is actually pretty good. Every other every other Peter Pan property I've seen was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's either some weird fucking reimagining, or they completely missed the point. Now, I'm not the biggest Peter Pan fan. You know, I remember I've seen the play, I've watched the movie. I think Peter Pan is unrealistic, and I know it's a work of fiction. It doesn't make sense that a little kid would beat a grown-ass man in a sword fight.
It's one of those. It's one of those situations where it's kind of like, you know, it fails. It fails to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
Mm.
Especially when, like, they age up Peter Pan in most of the comics, but in reality, I mean, in most of the media, like the cinematic and plays, but in the book, Peter Pan's like 8, which is even more bullshit. It's like an 8-year-old beating a grown ass man in a sword fight. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Get the fuck. Oh god. But anyway, I am a Peter Pan fan. I like the character. I think he's an interesting character. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you know, it's not very well done. It should be better done, but it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's a child power fantasy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
The only time I've seen a little kid beat a grown ass man in a fight was in Wind Waker. Where you had like 13, 14-year-old Link beat Ganondorf, who had hundreds of years of experience. But he had help. There was another person there helping him in that fight. It wasn't just him by himself fighting a grown ass man. That shit's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I appreciate animes like Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, I'm a plucky kid, and I'm just, through the power of determination, I'm gonna beat this grown ass man who's been fighting for years in a fight. It's like, it don't work that way. It don't. No. Look. There is nothing more enjoyable in Hunter x Hunter that when they go to that tower and they fight Madoka, not Madoka, Joker. I forgot the dude's name. I think his name's Madoka.
Yeah,
He basically looks like a clown, like a jester. But
yeah, I know what character you're talking
he
about.
beats the ever. I mean, he beat the shit. He beat them two kids so bad that at a certain point you just like, God damn, man, someone throwing the towel. Someone throwing the damn towel. You know, it's like that's what you get for talking all that shit. Oh, through the power of determination, I can do everything. Mm-mm. No.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened to Yusuke with Takoro.
Oh yeah. He was talking all that shit until the girl kicked his ass. Especially that first fight, he punched him in the stomach, and it's like they should have had dude pop up. It was like it was that moment that he realized he had fucked up. It's like, oh man, you fucked up right there, son. You should have look. It made it worse because he was talking all that shit before. It's like,
yeah,
yeah.
the whole Dark Tournament arc is one of the best arcs in shonen anime.
Yeah, and like I said, if Yusuke hadn't been talking all that shit beforehand, it probably would have been that bad. But when he was talking all that shit, and the girl's just like, okay, yeah, keep on, yeah, man, I enjoy you talking all this shit. Cause when I beat your ass, and here's the dude hadn't even powered up. He wasn't even powered up yet. He's like, look, I'm gonna punch you once and you gonna learn. He's like, look, talking all that shit. Look, if you ain't got the skills to back it up, you know, look, you can talk shit when you got the skills. If you ain't got the skills, then talking shit is useless.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was amazing seeing Yusuke get the shit kicked out of him. Cause a hero is only as good. Like heroes in anime and comics and movies need to get their asses kicked every once in a while because they need to have something to overcome so that you can root for them and they can become better. You know?
Yeah.
People always forget that. They're like, oh no, this character needs to be almighty and unstoppable. It's like you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You're missing the entire goddamn point. A hero needs to be beat. It's the reason why Batman gets boring after a while, because he's always cool, he's always calm, he's always collected, he's always got some shit to do, and it's like, I like you, but you're just you there needs to be a point where you lose.
Yeah.
And not manufactured losses, like legit, like I was underpowered for the task at hand.
Yeah.
And they never do that shit. They're like, oh no, well we can't have that because we gotta have this character be good. I'm like, no. Don't do that. Don't fuck that up. Don't do that. But anyway, as I was saying, back to, we kind of went off on a segue, but that happens sometimes. But anyway, that's how movies were back in the day. We basically, like, the shit would come out and it would be in the theater for like 6 months, 9 months, sometimes a year, if it kept on making money. So you could go and see it later on. Now, if something, even if something does make money, they want to get that out and get that secondary thing, or it goes to streaming. I'm like, well, shit. Damn, when can I watch it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's kind of, I guess, for people who like movie theaters, that can get annoying.
Well, I mean,
I think there's still probably, there's still something about the theater experience that
yeah,
your house really can't replace.
yeah. Like, unless you are one of those people, like I have a friend, and he, like I said, well, I probably told you about him. This dude, his parents are loaded, which means he's loaded.
Yeah.
All right, this dude's got money out the ass. All right, This dude has cash on top of cash on top of cash. His cash has cash. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, man, like one day he let me house sit his house when I was unemployed, and I was like, man, this is the life. Like that's how nice his house is.
Oh,
He has a home theater, and I don't mean that bullshit that you go to someone's house where they got like the little man cave with the big screen. I mean, legit, he has a small home theater. Like
wow.
it's a projector with a small movie theater like level projector that can do reels, it can do Blu-ray, it can do DVDs.
Oh, wow. Even reels. That's pretty great. And I bet reels are pretty expensive to get a hold of.
I mean, if you know the right people, it's not that bad. Like you can like some libraries that you can go to have reels of movies, like actual reels, and you can borrow those and then just watch the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, there are certain film repositories where you can still get reels of movies. So it's like if you want to own them, yes, it's expensive. If you just want to rent them, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've rented some reels in my life, okay? Me personally, not everybody else, but
Yeah. One of the things I kind of liked was some smaller towns, or at least I noticed probably in the last 5-10 years where opening night would be like usually the movie comes out on Friday, but certain theaters like opening night would be like a Thursday or
Thursday.
a
No, they've been
Saturday.
doing that. That's not a small town thing. That's something they just because they want to get that extra money.
Yeah.
They're like, why are we waiting until Friday at Friday when we can start Thursday at midnight, which is really Friday morning. They're
Yeah.
kind of fooling people really with that. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's a little on the. I feel like I was cheated a little bit, but yeah, man. People never understand that. They always get like they never understand that like good movies are so worth it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's certain movies that worth going to the theaters for sure. Um, you know, there's I don't have the I don't have the money to say recreate the experience I had at going to see say Doctor Strange in 3D.
Yeah,
Cause that was one of the few movies I was like, yeah, that was 3D was worth it.
yeah.
Cause I
There's
was
some
yeah,
movies when they're built from the ground up for 3D. It's like this is amazing. Um,
yeah,
when they just tack it on, it's like I saw Kong Skull Island in 3D, and I was like, this actually like the way they rendered his fur and the way everything looked in 3D. I was like, this is a good reason to have 3D.
yeah.
I was like, this is pretty goddamn good. And then they fucked it up with well that was it. That was it. That just basically I was like, oh, I'm not really enjoying this. This could be better. But
Yeah.
anyway, Um, but yeah, back to Ubisoft. Ubisoft been fucking up. I don't know what to say to anybody about it. That's what they do. They fuck up. That's what Ubisoft does. They accidentally released a game, got mad that people were happy about it and sharing it, which is, I mean, at this point, that's just free fucking publicity. Because I guess they wanted to release it. And then they were like, we're copyright striking people for it. I'm like, but you released it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, this has happened before with companies. Like you'll have um you'll have leaks of game footages from that particular company. I know the one big one I remember happening was in 2020 with The Last of Us Part Two.
Yeah.
That was a whole mess. It's just kind of like y'all just can't keep your dogs in line, can you?
That's like someone saying, "Hey, I'm donating my TV," and then getting mad when someone takes the TV and uses it.
Yeah,
Like, why would you? But you're donated it. You literally said you're donating it. You gave it to the charitable organization. Like, I don't. Hmm.
you should have just ate the L and just announced it
Y'all should have
as
leaned into
well.
it. Y'all should be like, "Hey, guess what? We're this is it's kind of belated, but we're announcing the remaster of Beyond Good and Evil." Because I don't have that game on PC. I had that game on the GameCube. Actually, I don't. Why am I using past tense? I have the game on the GameCube. I enjoyed Beyond Good and Evil. I think it was a pretty good game. Perfect? No, but pretty goddamn good.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty good for what it was. Um,
yeah,
you know, it was one of those. It was one of those. Like, I know it was Ubisoft's attempt at a mascot at a mascot game. A different, because they were pivoting away from Rayman, because Rayman was kind of diminishing returns at that point.
yeah,
And I understand it,
yeah, yeah. I mean, you
but
can't.
the game, like Ubisoft didn't market that game. They released it across like like three SKUs. It was on the PS2, the PC, the GameCube. I think it was also ported to the original Xbox. Like, they should have known that game wasn't going to sell that well.
Yeah,
Like, I can't believe this game didn't sell well. For real? That surprises you? Okay. All right. Anyway, enough about Ubisoft. Anything you want to add before we move on to the next topic, which is Embracer?
nope.
All right, Embracer. They're laying off 50 more employees, and they may soon close the resurrected Time Splitter studio, Free Radical Design. Yet its CEO and board of directors still have their jobs and were discharged from liability for the financial year.
Embracer will die before they were even born.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it seems like they don't quite understand that you can't make games if your staff who make the games keep on getting let go.
yeah,
Because I guarantee the CEO and the board of directors haven't made a game. If they were developers, they have not made a game in years. And if you
yeah.
gave them an SDK, they wouldn't know what the fuck they were doing.
And that's the thing about coding. It's like if you don't keep up with it, you could lose. You can lose it very quickly. But yeah, what, what's the thought process going on there at that company? Like, have they even really come out with anything of note other than the fact of just
Buying up
re-releasing and
studios.
buying up studios and it's like they bought all these studios with no plans.
Yeah, well, what they were planning on doing was buying up a lot of studios and then leveraging that to merge with someone who had a lot of money,
Yeah,
which only works until people run out of money.
yeah,
It's like clever plan. Too bad you ran out of money.
yeah, yeah. I, and of course, the heads of the company aren't going to take pay cuts,
No,
to protect these studios.
You mean their employees?
Their employees.
Yeah.
I
Well, of
mean,
course
that's
they
kind of
aren't.
why that's like respected Nintendo because at least Satoru Iwata was able to,
He'd take a
he
hit.
was able. He took a hit
Yeah. So that
to
people
protect the
weren't losing their
consumer.
jobs.
Yeah, you just don't see that over here.
No, no, you know, cause we're dealing with selfish ass motherfuckers around here.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
like I gotta make sure I can pay for my
yacht.
third yacht, pay for my sugar babies.
You know. Now, of course, this
Oh
is in
man,
Europe, where Europe has a much better worker protection program and safety net than what you have in other countries here in the U.S. So while these people are losing, don't have jobs in the classical sense, it's not as bad as it could have been. But still, people losing money, people losing jobs, you know?
yeah,
And, as a gamer, games aren't getting made. Games are getting started and not getting made.
yeah.
But, what do I know? You know? Anything you want to add before we move on?
Um, I don't know. If these companies keep acting this way, I wouldn't be surprised within the next 5 years you hear Embracer Group just goes under and they're liquidating all of their assets.
Who? Embracer?
Yeah, it's like it seems like every other week
Everything
there's
must
something with
go.
that.
Buy this studio, buy that studio. And if you won't buy it, these people are going to be out on the streets. We'll code for food.
Yeah.
I know that's terrible. People gonna get mad. People gonna kick my ass because I said that, but I don't care.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You know, you don't have investors. Voting people out of the voting people off the. Getting rid of their CEO or whatever.
hmm
Yeah. Where did Embracer Group come from anyway? I feel like they may have been around for a while, but it's a name that just seems to have grown with a lot of attention this past
They used to
couple of
be
years.
THQ Nordic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then as they started buying more studios, they just became. They used to be Nordic. Then they bought the portfolio of what used to be THQ, and then they just bought a whole bunch of other shit. And now they're THQ. And now they're Embracer.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't knock the hustle, but I can knock the game. Like the problem, okay, as a gamer, as a business, I was like, I don't understand how they're making money because no game that they released really set the world on fire, and they were still went on a buying spree buying other shit. They bought Gearbox from 2K. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't get the point. Or maybe they bought. Let's see. Let me wiki this because I'm not entirely sure. Wikipedia. Uh, wait, 2K. Let's see. Take-Two Interactive. So no. Gearbox. I'm pretty sure Gearbox is they were like 2K bought Gearbox. Or sorry, what's it? Gearbox Entertainment article. Shit. Gearbox Software, there it is. Yeah, they were bought by the Embracer Group in 2021.
Yeah, Gearbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gearbox is a shady company.
Yeah, it is because
Mhm.
what's his name? Randy Pitchford was the president there. Randy Pitchford is kind of a dick. You know, this is the guy who left a USB drive that belonged to that had like valuable shit on it. He left the shit like he went to medieval times in Texas and left the shit at the table. And on top of there, not only did it have sensitive information for his company, it had porn videos that he'd been watching of women having. Well, I'm not going to go into it, but basically, it was like, bruh, come on, man. Why would you like? How are you? How do you still have a fucking job?
Yeah. He probably knows where the bodies are buried. So if they fire him, he just he's gonna tell everybody where the bodies are buried.
Yeah, because he's the one who put him there. Shit.
Oh man.
Of course he knows where the bodies are buried. He's the one who fucking put him there. Randy Pitchford is a shady motherfucker. Um, and I think the only reason he's still working at, he worked at Gearbox so long is that because they basically promoted him out of the out of the operations. They promoted him to basically sit in the corner and just collect his check,
Yeah.
which was a smart move because Randy, like I said, Randy Pitchford's a shady motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, especially what they did with that Colonial Marines thing.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
here's what
They
is
allegedly took.
suspected. We can't prove any of this, but here's what's suspected. It's suspected that he basically took money that was supposed to be used for that game and instead put it towards Borderlands 2.
Yeah, that's the allegations.
Now, can I prove this? No, I have no evidence to back this up. But the fact that Borderlands 2 is so fucking polished, whereas Colonial Marines was dog shit.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, do I have any physical evidence to support this supposition? No. But if it makes sense, that's all I'm going to say. All right, it's plausible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty insane.
You know.
But yeah, Embracer Group. Uh, Hopefully they get their ass in gear and figure shit out.
I mean, if they keep on at the rate they're firing people and closing studios and selling off studios, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause shit, at the rate they firing people, it doesn't even matter. But anyway, that's it. I got nothing else left.
Yeah.
I guess we can move on to the final gaming topic, which I will look up right over here. Well, no, I'll save that for free topic. Anything you want to add before we move on to unpopular opinion and free topic?
No, I'm good.
All right. Um. So free topic. I know that you didn't have a cast last night, so I'm pretty sure you have something that you want to get off your chest, talk about,
Yeah,
bring up.
I've been following some videos on because the new Naruto Ninja Storm game, Ninja
Oh
Storm
God.
Connection came. That game is busted.
I
That
mean, the
game,
Ninja Store
like,
games are bad
there's,
anyway.
I mean, yeah, they're. Look, I have.
It's a guilty
I think
pleasure,
I
but they're
bought.
not good.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think some of the stuff they do, um, with like the cutscenes and stuff, look really cool. Some of it actually looks better than the stuff that you see in the actual anime. But as a fighting game, it's pretty bad. Like they are guilty pleasures, and I don't really know why people take them as seriously as they do, or some people take them as seriously as they do. Because
Like their
it's
gospel.
yeah, it's nowhere near the level, say like a Budokai 3
Yeah,
or a Fighter
Budokai
Z or
3 is.
something like that.
Yeah, Budokai 3 may be one of the best Dragon Ball Z games. Not just it may be one of the best fighting games of the sixth gen because it's that good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because it was a
it
legit fighting
yeah,
game. Plus, the story mode was pretty goddamn good. You could like play as that character flying around, doing little side missions and shit, finding the Dragon Ball. It's like, oh, that's cool.
yeah. Yeah, but I was just watching. It's like, man, it's scratching my head. It's like, why does this freaking thing exist? Other than the fact that Naruto name still brings a lot of money. Because it's just kind of like, so get this. They have a base game which is $60, and then it goes all the way up to like the ultra mega super duper extreme collection, which is like $200.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like this should have just been this should have just been an expansion DLC for like $30 for or
yeah,
something
but
because
why
this
would
is
they do
like
that when they can get
tiny compared.
dumbasses to spend more? Sorry, gullible gamers to spend more.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously the online is busted. A lot of broken characters. Uh, it's one of the things I hate that fighting games do, and Street Fighter is from what I played, it's gotten better at this. Um, Actually, Street Fighter's never been super terrible at this. I just noticed this in like anime games and stuff like that, where it's just like you do a special move and it gives you invincibility frames.
Yeah,
So so apparently there's a lot of that that goes on. And so it just rewards people for spamming special moves. So just rewarding bad players. It seems to be the
yeah, but that's a valid strategy though.
90%.
If that's a thing that actually happens in the game, like that's you
Yeah,
know that's a way to play
yeah,
the game. It's like Soul Calibur 2 back in the day on the GameCube and the PS2 and the Xbox. You could basically use the secondary joypad to do instant special moves and soul charges, right?
yeah,
Like it was cheap, right? But if you had a higher level of mastery, you could use a blade clash or blade parry to basically take a character off their game and then fuck them up if you actually knew how to play the game and you weren't just spamming special attacks. So, if someone
yeah,
wants to do that, if a good fighting game exists, you have a way to counter people who do shit like that.
yeah,
Typically speaking. Now, I haven't played a Naruto game in a long time. For me, the Naruto game, like I find most anime games to be shit. To be honest with you, they
yeah,
take the license and
yeah,
then they just crap out some bullshit that's like, did I really need this?
yeah. Yeah, it seems to be the case.
You know?
I know. for me, the first few Storm games were
They were like
better of
party
those
games for you.
games, but yeah, they were the better of those games, but they weren't, but it's not like they really have much competition. It's not like you have to try hard to make a relatively decent licensed anime game.
Yeah, but the thing is, there aren't even relatively decent ones. They're either like occasionally you'll get a good one like Budokai 3, but most of the time it's some bullshit. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
this is just a generic fighting game or generic action game or ultra generic RPG with a slapped with a with the IP.
yeah,
You know, or they put the shit in the wrong genre. Like, I'm gonna say something, and someone's gonna get mad at me when I say this, but I don't care. Wouldn't it be cool if they made a Naruto game set during the Shinobi Wars, right? Um, but it was done in the style of, say, Dynasty Warriors.
yeah. That could be interesting. You could definitely make that work.
And then like you use your jutsu, like let's say you play as Naruto's father, because it's like the first Shinobi Wars, like the Hokage, and he summons Gamabunta.
Yeah,
He's like stomping on people and jumping and shit. It's like, oh shit, you fucked up now,
yeah,
son. You got to fight those damn god beasts. That'd be amazing.
yeah.
Are we gonna get that? No, because that makes too much sense. And that would take effort. You'd actually have to animate all that shit. They don't want to do that.
Yeah. I would have really liked it if we were on the topic of Naruto. I would have really liked if they were going to create a sequel for Naruto, like make it into the future where a lot of those people are dead and it's their descendants from the future. Cause that, I really don't like what they're doing with
Well,
Boruto.
Boruto is
The
trash
more I hear
because
about it, the more
yeah,
the
Boruto is
more
trash
obnoxious.
because it's not well written, and it was made because they made so much money off Naruto. They were like, "Well, make a sequel." I would be
Yeah,
I would go with that, but I would say keep the people who had the god beasts in them or the god beast power. They're still alive. They just went to sleep. So when they show up, it's like, oh shit. Like they like they
yeah,
go to the village of the Hidden Leaf, where like the original village is like has been it's in a formation where people can't find it anymore. It's like it's literally hidden, and like they have a city that's like the people who weren't able to get in there and didn't have the chakra to do it. Like they just built a city someplace far away. And they're like the new main characters are fighting, and then they're like, oh shit, I'm feeling a power level that's more powerful than I've ever felt before, and out comes like fucking old man Naruto. But the dude has a demon fox in him. He ages lower, so it's like he looks like maybe middle aged, but he's really it's like 500 years after that, and he's like,
yeah,
what the fuck's going on here, and why did you disturb my sleep? And they're like, oh, who the fuck are you? Why are you so powerful? Maybe have them fuck up. And he smacks their asses down. And they're like, why are you
yeah.
doing this old style ninja arts? He's like, wait a second, what year is it? Because of course Naruto would fuck it up because that's what he does. What year is it? And they're like, oh, it's some of 500 years. It's like shit. It was only supposed to be 50. So you could basically have like all of these people who were in the stasis with him, and they're like, what? They're in the new world, and like like it's a fish out of water story. It's like, well, shit. And they find that their old jutsus are kind of like, they're powerful, but they're so out of style. They're so out of style. And he's still doing that. Believe it. It's like, could you stop saying that? That's annoying. Why do you say your attacks before you do them? That's stupid. Shit like that. It could be meta commentary. But no. We got Boruto. Because, Boruto.
Yeah. Yeah. I can rant all day about that, but we don't have the time.
No, we
don't
don't.
have the time.
No, we don't. But I still would be cool with it. But anyway, my free topic is about Starfield. People who just keep on shitting on this game. Look, listen, okay? Starfield is a mid game right now.
Yeah.
Okay, right now. But people forget that when Skyrim came out before the expansions hit and you played the vanilla game, it was mid too.
If this look, I don't believe in the Xbox tax. I think people are silly. But I think if this would have came out on the PS5, people would still be mad, but I don't think it would be as crazy as it is right now.
Nah. Because people always want an excuse to bitch and complain about shit.
Yeah.
There will always be an excuse to bitch and complain about your favorite, whatever your favorite bullshit isn't on your favorite bullshit. I also don't like. Here's the thing, okay? I think had this game come out on PS5, you would have had the same shit that always happens. PS5 players would have bought, maybe just by virtue of there being more PS5s, it would have sold more units on PS5. But if you look at like the percentage, it would have been the same as probably less than what you're seeing on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Because PlayStation players buy the same 3 games every year. They buy a sports game, a shooter, and then they'll take a chance on the It RPG or like the It out of their normal sphere of game.
Yeah.
That's what they typically do. And that's it. Don't listen to the bullshit PlayStation players give you where they're like, oh no, they play a lot of shit. No, they don't. Okay? Generally speaking, your console's a streaming box. I don't want to hear that shit no more. But, that's my opinion. Agree, disagree, don't care?
Agree.
All right.
Agree.
But as far as Starfield goes, look, listen. Here's what I'm going to say about Starfield, okay? And then I'm going to go into unpopular opinion. Starfield is an okay game. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's okay. All right. The vanilla game is okay. The gameplay loop isn't great. The people are like, well, there's less people playing it because a lot of people rushed through that game and didn't do most of the side quests. Okay? You have to basically, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. If you rush to get through the main quests of those games, they're short and there's not a lot to do. It's the side shit that makes the game worth playing. Also, I played the game on PC with, let me take a look right here. I have 132 mods. So
Yeah.
I am not playing the vanilla version of this game.
Yeah.
It's a completely different beast for me, okay?
So but that's the game on consoles.
Yeah, so if you're playing this game on console, I don't know what to say to you except you put that shit on yourself.
Yeah.
All right. If you really want to enjoy this game, you got to play it on PC. All
Yeah.
right. You got to play it on PC with mods.
Yeah.
All right. Tons and tons of mods. All right. So that's it. That's it. Like, because here's what I'm gonna say. Anything that you might find, I don't like this. The game does this. I don't like that. I guarantee you that there is a mod to make it better. So for
Yeah.
me, like everyone's like, I don't like this. It did this. It did do this. I'm like, I don't have those issues because you know, I modded my shit to be better. You too need to mod your shit to do better, so then you'll have a better experience. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the need to complain and bitch about how it doesn't do everything I want it to do and this I didn't like doing that. It's like you're playing the game. I don't like the fast travel. Yeah, because real space travel would be boring if you didn't have if you didn't have faster than light travel. Okay?
Yeah.
You're literally, think about it, okay? Even if you could go light speed and you're going to the closest habitable planet to ours, which is like 70 light years away, that's a 70-year travel, okay? That,
Yeah.
imagine being awake for all of that. That'd be boring as fuck.
It sure would be.
And you'd be old before you enjoy it. I left when I was 20 years old and now I'm 90. I can't even go down to the planet because my bones are so brittle. My children can go though.
when the game, when the you wouldn't have enough you wouldn't have enough batteries to power your Game Boy for a car trip that long.
No, and even if you did, I mean, you need space for other shit. You need to be able to, you know,
You'll be
you
able to
need
eat at some
food,
point, right? Yeah.
materials, all types of other important shit. You don't need no bullshit. But you
Man.
say that, people get mad. Oh no, it's like quit with that shit. Shit's
Yeah.
so annoying. It's annoying. I don't like it. No sir, not one bit. But you know, that's it. Any questions about Starfield that you would like to ask, but you're like, I'm afraid to ask anything. You're like, I want to know.
No, I don't have any questions.
All right. So, with that being said, I guess we can go to unpopular opinion. So, here we go. Unpopular opinion. You want to go first? Something you want to get off your chest? Say, like,
Yeah.
I gotta let these people know this.
The most impressive thing I've seen out of Unreal Engine 5 was that like Studio Ghibli uh, Zelda Ocarina of Time trailer recreation.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
was cool.
I was like, yeah, that's cell shading games are gonna look fantastic. In the right hands with that trailer.
Too bad no one's
Um,
gonna do it.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's very impressive. It's made by I don't know, made by one guy, 600 hours
God damn.
for yeah. That's not like YouTube's not his full time job either. This was on top of his full time job, so pretty crazy. What he was able to do, uh, and how he was able to make it look, and just looking at that, it's like, man, yeah, if any anime or any sort of cell shading games are made in that, it's gonna look pretty good. But
I don't know if that's what you thought about that. When I saw that, I was like, man, Ocarina of Time is not a good looking game. Like it's kind of empty. Like
yeah,
we accepted that at the time because we'd never seen it before, but it just is not very well. Like Hyrule Field is empty.
a lot of they're dealing with a lot of limitations back then.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same shit we deal with now with a lot of Legend of Zelda games. It's like, man, this open world is amazing. Then you get out there and he's like, there isn't fuck all to do out here. This is boring as fuck. But that's my own personal
But
opinion, and you know,
yeah,
whatever. Uh, I have an unpopular opinion, and I'll say it right now. I would love to see the Legend of Zelda go back to its original formula. I don't like the current formula that it has. Um, I like Legend of Zelda games that functionally are just essentially like a it's like this genre with a Legend of Zelda spin on it. So like Wind Waker is a nautical high seas adventure with a Legend of Zelda spin on it. Twilight Princess is a western with a Legend of Zelda spin on it. Um, I think that's pretty cool. Um, I didn't like I played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and I was like, I don't really like. I like Tears of the Kingdom a little bit less than Breath of the Wild. I think mechanically it's a better game, but I think in terms of like gameplay, it's like they didn't learn a fucking thing from the previous game. As a matter of fact, they kind of doubled down on the bullshit, in my opinion. Um,
yeah,
and that's it. Got nothing else to say. I don't like it. No, sir, not one bit. No, a lot of people like that game. I'm not one of those people. So there you go. I said it. Come at me, bro. I'm ready.
yeah,
I'm ready and willing to defend my opinion on this. um, and I don't want to hear any shit from anybody about this no true Scotsman fallacy where it's like, well, you don't like these games because you're a boomer. No, I've played every single Legend of Zelda game except for the weird spin-offs that never came out. I played all that shit. All right. So I don't want to hear that shit. All
yeah.
right. It just it just really didn't. It just didn't do much for me. There you go. Um, that's it. That's my unpopular opinion. Anything you want to pimp out, add?
Good.
All right. That's the end of the cast. That's the end of the cast. Anything you guys want to you want to You want to pimp out your channel, sir?
Oh, oh yeah, Project Console next Tuesday. Didn't have a show last night because had some other stuff to do. Um, but yeah, we'll be talking about. Well, one of the things we'll be talking about is why we don't care about the Game Awards and why you shouldn't either,
All right.
and plus news topics. So yeah, check it out.
All right. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. I will be live streaming the PC game show tomorrow. Um, because I have a gaming PC, and to me, I give a shit more about the PC game show than the uh, the game the game award show with Dorito Pope.
Yeah,
Jeff Keighley. So yeah, fuck that guy. Um, but anyway, that's it. That's my opinion. Um, that being said, we will also. So I'll be live streaming that tomorrow. Give my reaction. I might also do a review of Godzilla Minus One. Upload that tomorrow as well, depending on how I feel and what's going on in my life. But definitely, I will be doing a live reaction to the PC gaming show tomorrow, November 30th. So that's going to be fun. Anything else? No, that's it. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be having a cast next week, Wednesday. I'm hoping Kenoshi will have his cast because I'll join that too. So whatever. Anyway, that's the end of the cast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace and have a good day.
you